Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a reading for the air signs, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, and their twin flame connection. Twins, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, you can find that information in my Buy Me a Coffee link, my official Instagram and TikTok, all listed in the About section of my YouTube page. And I thank you so much in advance. Twins, I hope that you're doing well. If you are here as a cross watcher, welcome. If you are here and you're unsure of what a twin flame journey is, I've included a link to Gabi Kovalenko's full-length video on the twin flame connection. It's very, very useful and very thorough, and definitely helped me in my journey on the twin flame path, and I know that it would be helpful to you as well. In a nutshell, the twin flame journey is about two people who share the same energetic oversoul. So it's this idea that there's one soul in two people, which is extremely reductive, but it's the general gist. It's a very sacred connection that spans eternity, essentially. And it's the sense that if you happen to be, because it's not always the case, but if you happen to be incarnated in the same lifetime as your twin, and you meet your twin in that lifetime, it can be a connection like no other. There's this sense of understanding and knowingness of this other person, this counterpart, that is heightened in every sense of the word. It's very intense. It can be very passionate and sometimes all-consuming. But it gets to the point between the twins that the pressure gets so high that the twins actually trigger one another and bring up all of these things that need healing. And because of that, there catapults the twins, acts as a catalyst to the twins to separate and to try and figure out who they are without each other. And in that space, that separation, to try and find connection to spirit, understand what our spiritual gifts are, to go through spiritual enlightenment and awakening, kundalini rising, to come to this place of understanding this self better than ever. And sometimes that process can take months, weeks, years. And for me, it took years. I do read for twins in separation. I was a twin in separation. I have recently come into union with my twin after essentially 5 years of no contact and 7 years of not seeing him. So the twin flame journey is harrowing and difficult and can be heartbreaking, but it's also rewarding if you decide to take the journey. I'm going to be using 2 decks for your reading today. The first one is the overall energy from the Human Spirit Oracle deck, and today I'm going to be using the Good Tarot by Colette Baron-Reid, and I'm only taking uprights from this deck. I will not be reading reversals from this deck today. The cards have been pre-shuffled. This is for the air signs and their twin flame connection. Angel, spirits, guides, what messages do you have for the twins? Number 32, which reduces to a 5, corresponding to the Hierophant card of the Major Arcana. Taurus energy. You could be dealing with a Taurus or have Taurus placements in your chart, or they could have in their chart. The Hierophant talks about a connection through another person or perhaps a sacred text to spirit, to the spirit world, to the source energy, the divine. It's like using or going to somebody and they're a conduit for you, right? Like looking to somebody for guidance or advice. The Hierophant card can also talk about rules, codes of conduct, regulations, how we, create value systems and how we abide by those value systems or rebel against them. The words are homebody. Homebody. A homebody is typically somebody that likes to stay at home, that likes to be insular, usually somebody who is introverted. So you could be an introvert, or your twin could be. And like really embracing that side of yourself. Homebody can also reference the building of a home, or being at home in the self. Being at home in the self, which is very important. Well, quite frankly, it's the crux of the twin flame dynamic, right? It's not about finding home in your twin and only your twin. It's about finding home in yourself. Connecting. You could be also connecting more to your own body through what it is that you consume, how you treat your body as a temple. I see that for some of you. I'm interested in the fact that she's wearing these white gloves. So my line of work, my day job, I work in like kind of I work off of loading docks and shipping and receiving and those kinds of things. And it makes me think of white glove service. And when you order a piece of furniture and you pay extra for white glove service, suggesting that when they bring your piece of furniture, the delivery people, they will bring it into your home or into your space with white gloves, which never happens, by the way, with white gloves to take care, to not scratch anything, and to make sure that everything gets inside very safely. So there's something to that on a metaphorical level, that like perhaps you and your twin are kind of trying to be very careful with what you bring into your energetic homes, which is very important, actually. You don't want to just bring anybody home or anything home to the place of sanctuary. And I feel that this energy is shared by the both of you. So it's this knowingness that you don't want to bring something into the energy of the twin flame dynamic. You don't want to bring something that doesn't belong, or that's not good for you. So I'm going to pull 4 cards for the base spread, 4 cards for clarifier. The first set of cards will be your energy. The second set will be your twins. The third set will be the connection. And the fourth set will be advice from spirit. Feel free to flip the energy with your twins if you feel that you resonate with what I call their pile. One more card. Thank you, Spirit. So far I only see one major arcana on the table, which could change when I pull clarifiers, but when I only see one major arcana out of 8 cards, it kind of tells me that the reading has to do with the material world. Like, we're not necessarily talking about the ethereal, although we could, but that you and your twin are kind of concerned with what's going on in the here and now, the nitty-gritty of earthly life. Your energy to start, King of Fire or King of Wands, clarified by the Page of Fire or Page of Wands. 10-10, as I said that. It's this sense in you that there's this burning desire or passion, that you have a lot of initiative and motivation, and you have a lot of energy, and it's fueled by your heart space, right? And this card here is so amazing. Like, it's like jetting out of her and turning into butterflies, right? So the King of Wands, the King of Fire, is somebody who really sits in the seat of their power. They know their power. They have a lot of control. They have a lot of wherewithal. They're never shaken by anything. They've been through too much. They're very decisive, quick to act, because they have assuredness of what it is that they want to do and how it is that they want to move. Lots of self-confidence. You can see here behind his head, this like sun, these sunbeams, right? Referencing Leo energy. The sun being the most auspicious card in the deck, the most abundant card in the deck, referenced here. However, I see here the moon referenced here. Right, so sun and moon. So whenever sun and moon shows up, it's kind of like eclipse energy. So there could be some internally with you, there could be some things that are a little like two big planetary bodies that are kind of trying to get along. But it's happening within you. So I feel as though you might be pulled, you're very motivated, but you might be pulled in two different directions. I kind of see that for you. Page of Fire or Page of Wands talks about really starting something fresh, inspired action, really wanting to do something new, right? And you have your experience there to back you up, but interested in starting off new with youthful energy, immature eyes, but hopeful ones. It was really obnoxious, but it does play into the reading because it's like, get your motor running, head out on the highway, looking for adventure, right? That song, Born to be Wild. That's what that song is called. Born to be Wild. So everything has a meaning. And when I pull cards, this is how you feel right now. Born to be wild. Born to be free. Being a clarifier. Two of Fire. It's just about which direction you want to move into. Yeah, that's 3 fire cards. That's a heck of a thing for an air element, right? Or an air sign. 2 of Fire talks about, you know, which way do I go, left or right? A little bit of a fork in the road, though, because we're still in this process of deciding. We're already on our vehicle, which is this giraffe, which is ironic because I always thought of my twin as a giraffe, and so it kind of reinforces with me. It's like we're talking about the journey. I think you want to take the journey, but which direction do we move into? Right? Which direction do we go in? There's always something to it as like sitting on high, like needing perspective, trying to get that perspective. I just heard for some of you it might be purchasing a home. I'm looking at this card again and I'm like, you know, it's interesting because you have all of this fiery energy, but with the homebody card, it's kind of like I can understand why this is here, because you're like wanting to get out of the house, but there's a stalling. There's something, there's like And I don't know if the home in a certain sense is the home that you build with your twin on an energetic level. And maybe it's like there's half of you that wants to break free, born to be wild, and then there's this other half that wants to find comfort and solace inside. I'm hearing that Starship, Jefferson Starship song. I think that's what the band is called. And if this, or it's called, I think it's called Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now. And if this world runs out of lovers, we'll still have each other. Nothing's gonna stop us now. Ooh, all that I need is you. All that I'll ever need. I'll hold you forever, forever and ever. Those are the lyrics to the song. So I think you do want to take this journey. You are on this journey. But I think that you've decided on it, or you're deciding on it. I mean, it's just kind of like taking that next step, which is what's going on here. Putting yourself forward, like projecting out. It's a little scary though, especially if you've been in this energy, to just like open up that door and be out in the the big wide world. Maybe this involves like you being open about being a twin, because it can sound kind of crazy, right? We know this. The reason I do these readings is because it's so difficult to find somebody that gets it. Because if you're like not a twin, you don't get it. I mean, you can get it on like a intellectual level, like, okay, there's this scenario where two people share the same soul. I don't know how that works, but okay, keep telling me more. And then there's the other scenario where you're with another twin and you're just like, no, you don't even need to explain. I know that you miss them. You don't need to explain it to me. I feel you. I feel this. Let's help each other through this journey. Where's your twin? 7 of Fire. 7 of Wands. Clarified by the 4 of Air. Yeah, they are unfortunately less enthusiastic. 7 of Wands can talk about blocking. So I don't know if they've blocked you or you blocked them, or you know, just because we're in separation from our twin doesn't mean we're not talking to our twin, but this could be a situation where you're not talking to them. And you know what? It's like you might love them very much, but maybe you have a reason not to talk to them right now. Unless they blocked you. There's some blocking happening here. And they kind of feel like they're out on this like rock all by themselves. There's no one else around but these little sprightly dragonflies. Maybe lighting the way a little bit. But generally, they might be feeling like a little lost. 4 of Air, 4 of Swords. 4 of Swords is recovery after heartache and heartbreak. And you can see here, it's just a little forlorn, trying to recoup, trying to understand what's just happened. Your twin feels sad, which is, maybe you don't feel sorry for them at all, but that's fine. But I'm just saying that this is what I feel from these cards. They feel isolated and sad. And this is the thing. These 2 cards, there's not anybody else in the picture. They don't feel sad to me. They feel motivated. They feel ethereal. They feel like colorful and like fireworks. And this energy just feels isolated and sad. Trying to figure out what just happened. there could be something that happened between the two of you, like the trigger that woke up in them that they're really trying to come to terms with. And what are these triggers? The kind of go-to triggers for the twin flame journey, like abandonment, the anxious attachment, the avoidant attachment, the feelings of not being good enough. This is for their twin, please, Spirit. Can I have a clarifier? What is this Four of Air? Why is the Four of Air here? Number 20, the major arcana, the Call card, also known as Judgment, and the Page of Water. Okay, so the Judgment card, answering the call of spirit. This is a no joke card, the Judgment card. It's like your twin is being called to stand up. This is a little bit of tough love that's coming through for your twin. Stand up and recognize that you have a higher calling that you need to answer to. Twins did not come here to lead ordinary lives. And trust me, I've asked that question a million times. Can't I just have an ordinary love experience? Nope, I can't. But with that comes a uniqueness that is heightened through my gifts and through your gifts and through your twins' gifts. There is something that your twin is meant to do, and they are being questioned about that by the universe. Why aren't you doing something with your calling? Page of Water, Page of Cups. Again, like you got the Page of Fire, they got the Page of Cups. Excuse me, you got, here it is, Page of Fire here, Page of Cups. They're being asked to kind of own up to their heart space. Maybe they owe you an apology. This card can also talk about apology. Maybe they're waiting for an apology. Take it as it resonates. But there's something where a step needs to be taken and it needs to come authentically. And this is what they're kind of trying to reconcile right now. I think a little bit they're just trying to make sense of everything. But Spirit is making their way in. It's like the whisperings, the signs and the synchronicities are popping up. It's crazy. At the beginning of my spiritual awakening, it actually happens less now, but maybe because I talk to Spirit so often, they don't need to communicate to me in quite the same way to convince me. But before, when I needed convincing that Spirit was a thing and the universe was actually listening, they needed to send me a lot of signs and synchronicities. And it was absolutely incredible. Like, I couldn't understand how it was happening. And now I actually see less signs and synchronicities because I kind of don't need them. And there are times when I make Spirit prove it to me. That's a little bit when I'm being like a petulant child, but before it was like I needed to see it. I need to hear it. And I've told this story a couple times before, but especially in air sign twin flame readings because my twin is an air sign. But I was listening to a tarot reader on YouTube and questioning the whole journey I questioned. And I tested Spirit and I said, I'm not gonna believe this twin flame BS unless you make this tarot reader say his name. And the tarot reader is Baba Jolie. She's very psychic and very connected to her spirit guides. And she always gave names and symbols and things that I would see. I would anything she'd mentioned in her readings that were weird and rare, I would see them. And so I questioned Spirit and I said, I'm not going to believe this twin flame BS unless you make her say his name. And wouldn't you know it, the very next reading I watched for my sign for twin flames, she said his name at the end of the reading. I do not know her. She does not know me. And his name is not common. And she said his name and I burst into tears. And that's when I knew 100% that I was a twin flame. And I couldn't deny it anymore. And something is happening to your twin where they are starting to see the signs and synchronicities and it's freaking them out. I feel like they're freaked out. And maybe like even more withdrawn. Because it's like, how can this be? Like, what does this mean? They're asking themselves these questions. For the connection, yeah, I mean, number 15 of the Major Arcana, this is the Devil card, but in this deck it's temptation. So not quite as harsh, not quite as scary, but could be, has the potential to be problematic because in this connection, one or both of you may turn to things that are not for your best and highest good. Right, maybe you're so fired up that you get impatient and then you might do spontaneous, impatient things. That's just an example. I'm not saying you're going to do it. I'm just saying that Spirit is showing that the tendency might be there. It is clarified by the 10 of Cups, 10 of Water, the fat Buddha. Right? So it is this sense that we are looking for our ultimate happiness, but what is it that we're doing to try and achieve it? Is it really for our best and highest good? Or is it something that we think is going to make us happy, but won't really make us happy? That's a question that is coming up in the connection right now. We end the reading here with advice from Spirit. These two cards together, immediately I got the sentence, keep your eyes on the prize. 6 of Water, 6 of Cups, 9 of Earth, 9 of Pentacles. So, it's interesting too, these two kind of divine feminine figures, they both have their hands clasped together in a certain way. One is holding a kind of flower. The other is holding on to their stomach, their gut, their intuition perhaps. 6 of Cups talks about nostalgia. We're looking back to the past and trying to learn from it. Looking back with fondness. Thank you, Spirit. There's something to it. Like there's something that you are reflecting on in your past. And it doesn't necessarily need to be with your twin. That's what I just heard. But there's something important from your past that is being recalled. The 9 of Pentacles is pre-Empress energy, and it talks about independence. All the things that we invest in and that we build for ourselves. And so Spirit, these two cards together, it's like learning from your past in order to inform your present. Keep your eye on the prize. Focus on you. Whatever this energy is fueling, let it be about you and not about your twin. Focus on you. Put all that energy. It seems counterintuitive in a way. Focus all of your love energy on you. And when you do that, by proxy, it will fuel your connection. It will be in service to your connection the more you love yourself. So that's your reading, air signs. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, twins.